Hello and welcome to this edition of Council Corner, your information program about the members of Richland County Council, as well as their policies and priorities that guide their decisions and indeed their votes. Joining me in the studio today is Richland County Councilman Paul Livingston of Council District 4. He has served the citizens of Richland County for more than 20 years, yet he still remains very youthful looking. He most recently served an unprecedented 3 terms as Richland County Council Chairman. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, Stephanie.
Now, we know that during your tenure, and this is not, you've been serving the residents of Richland County. You were on Richland School District 1 school board over the years. You have completed the South Carolina Economic Developers School. You have distinguished yourself in the area of really being a statesman, but educating yourself on issues of higher education, secondary education, and economic development, going on trips, working with the city, Lexington County. And so what keeps you doing it?
It's so rewarding, Stephanie, just the opportunity to serve the citizens of Richland County. You know, when you see your efforts making a difference in the lives of individuals and improving the quality of life of your whole community, that makes it really, really easy and rewarding.
Well, you know, much is made about, I really think that that all local governments can somewhat kind of get hammered in the newspaper about their decisions and things. But just explain from the perspective of chairman and also being on county council, how, well, you have 11 council members or representatives, disparate opinions on things, you know, making the legislation may not always look pretty, but you all come to it. But explain the challenges, I guess, of getting everyone to kind of 11 different opinions, kind of forming one.
Stephanie, it's always rewarding, interesting, challenging, but at the same time, it's important to just simply be open and honest with every member of council on every particular issue. And it's not always easy. Oftentimes, you may have 11 different opinions on one issue. And just getting council members to listen to each other and respect each other's decision is what really makes it easy. And I have to work hard at trying to do that.
Now, maybe your training has helped you, because I think you were a psychology instructor
Yes,
at Midlands Tech.
And I realized when I became a member of county council what I was really being trained for.
That you were able to put your vocation really to good use. But, you know, in all seriousness, I think that you definitely have been the man for the job because of the fact that you have such an easygoing personality. You're not a combative person. You seem to be someone who really tries to build consensus.
And what's really important, Steph, is being a perspective taker. If you're not willing to try to understand things from others' perspective, that job will be extremely difficult. And I try to do that. I recognize the reasons why people have different perspectives and try to understand those reasons so we can communicate more effectively.
Right, because on council, you have folks such as yourself that represent a good bit of urban corridors in the city. And then you have folks that represent suburban areas that may have seen some decay, or what they call urban blight. But then you have folks that are in areas that are kind of up and coming. And then you have folks in rural areas that are dealing with dirt roads and the lack of infrastructure. So these are major policy decisions as to how we're going to look and grow over the next 20 years.
Yes, and where the problem lies oftentimes too is, as chair, your role got to be to look at the entire county. Oftentimes, in a role not being the chair, you may only be most concerned about your specific area. But you just can't do that as chair if you're going to function effectively as a chairperson. You got to make sure you try to understand what's happening in the entire county in each county council member's district.
What are some of the things that you're very proud of as the chair, as having been chair over the last, not only the last 3 years, but I know that you did a 2-year stint earlier, but what are some of the things that you would say are your most recent success? If I were to run off a list myself, I would say the transportation penny sales tax. You kind of helped guide that, and that was very challenging.
Yes, and I think also recently is, you know, just for example, we talk about different areas of the county, the Lower Richland area of the county. I think just working on that effort to get the sewer in the Lower Richland area was significant, I think, and that was a very recent, I think, thing that county council did was very great for the entire county. Also, too, I think economic development is a big issue to me, and just recently, getting together the economic development department, hiring an economic development director, because we know what that means for jobs in our community, how it's going to affect the quality of life of individuals in our community. I think was a big transition move for the county, as well as making sure we continue to support law enforcement the way we do. I think we can proudly say that we're doing well in that area. We get fewer complaints than one can imagine compared to when I started on council. That was a major issue. So I think we're really moving forward on a lot of major initiatives. And things like the hospitality tax initiative that we've moved forward on in the past, accommodations tax, just those efforts. When I got here, one of our main concerns was making sure that we do a better job working with our neighborhoods. We did not have a neighborhood development group, but now we have that organization, that group in place. So we're really moving forward, I think, in a lot of directions that I think we would not have moved in forward without the really true initiative of my colleagues and myself in the recent past.
Well, I think you're in very good stead. We're going to be speaking with the newly elected chairman. What if any advice can you give him as he navigates through this year?
I tell him to immediately begin to respect the different opinions and ideas of every council member. He may not agree with them, but I think he needs to at least respect them. I think at the same time, he needs to also understand that his role is not going to be to make everybody happy and please everyone. I think if he could come out with everyone respecting him and trusting his decisions, then he would have been successful as a chairperson. I also think it's important for him to work close with the administration, as close as possible. I think that's important for him to understand what's needed in the county, what's going on in the county, and so forth. And they need to have a very open and honest dialogue with each other if the process is going to work.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And well, I guess before you leave, one last question. What do you see as maybe the defining issue in 2012? If I know that there are very many, but if there was one that was on your radar, what would it be? I
think to make sure we do what we need to do to remain fiscally responsible as a county is a driving issue. I think transportation in our county is important. How we move people about, not only the bus system, but as well as moving cars, individuals, bicycles, and whatever. I think it's a major issue in our county.
All right. Well, I want to just tell you that we appreciate greatly, from a staff perspective, how you've kind of guided the ship and kept things going. And we're supposed to be, we will be launching very soon, where folks will actually be able to see the council meetings for themselves on the county cable channel. So they'll be knowing they'll just know how difficult your task is.
Well, it's certainly been an honor. Certainly been an honor for me. And most of the time rewarding.
Well, it's been really rewarding for us to have you as chair over the last 3 years. You're very easygoing to work with and very open to ideas. And I like the fact that whenever I wrote a script for you, for the most part, you kind of stuck to it, because I think I know your personality, so I could throw in jokes there that were appropriate to you.
That worked well for me, and that's a relationship you need to develop with the new chair, so that'll be easy for him.
Right, exactly. I don't know if he's as jokey, but we'll ask him about that. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Council Corner. And for more information about county happenings, you can go to our website at rcgov.us, and you can friend us on Facebook. We're also on Twitter, and we have a YouTube account. You can also listen to us every Friday on the radio, Richland Radio, on WGCV AM 620. See how hard they make me work? Make it a great week.